And this is a scene where Ming-Li and Leopold, now everybody else is split up to try to traverse the library and find what they need to find. So he and Ming-Li are together looking in the library. And we're beginning here. Leopold glanced all around into the shadowy and dusty recesses. Look here, there's a door. Ming-Li approached. Is it unlocked? We'll soon find out. He reached for the dull brass knob and tried to turn it. Might be. No, wait. It's just rusty. He put his back into it and finally loosened it. It crackled and crunched and finally clicked and opened when he pushed. The interior was dark, and he could not fathom the size of the room, let alone what might be inside it. Except a movement caught his attention, and he spied something in the distance in a sliver of light. It was another person. Hello, said Leopold, but the silhouetted figure didn't answer. It simply stood there, looking at him. I say, hello! He raised his hand. The figure raised his hand, too. Leo, Ming-Li poked him in the back. What are you doing? You don't know whether they are friend or foe. I've got to give them the benefit of the doubt. After all, they're here in the library with us. He pulled Ming-Li in and motioned for her to close the door behind her. Suddenly, the figure in the distance fell to darkness. Hello, are you still there? Still no answer. They moved forward. Make a light, Leo. He snapped his fingers, and a ball of light appeared before them, bobbing in the air. The figure in the distance came to view again, and there was another. They still haven't responded, said Ming-Li. Slowly, she drew the sword from her umbrella. To his left, another two figures appeared in the gloom. Leo, I see them. He cleared his throat and spoke in his loud stage voice. We mean you no harm, and we expect the same courtesy. We're only looking for a particular object. We won't bother you in your own search. The shadowy figures only stood quietly immobile. Another set of figures appeared to their right, like shadows. They only seemed to move when Leopold or Ming-Li moved into the room. Leo? Yes, my dear. Ming-Li sheathed her rapier into the umbrella again, watching carefully what the figures on three sides of them did. She raised her arm, and the shorter of the figures on the three sides raised their arms. She lowered hers and raised the other arm, and the others did so in turn. Leo, raise your light high into the ceiling. He flipped his hand, and the light lifted, radiating light across the space. Immediately, three sets of Leopold's and Ming-Li's were illuminated, mirroring everything the originals did. What the? Leopold strode forward. Another three sets of Ming-Li's and Leopold's appeared, mirroring their movements. The more he moved, the more sets of their mirrored selves appeared. Soon a battalion of Leopold's and Ming-Li's crowded the space. He rushed forward, and thinking they were mere illusions, he expected to plow through them. Except they weren't illusions, and he slammed into one Leopold and staggered back. All the others in the room staggered back, hitting other Leopolds like caroms. Ming-Li, he cried, looking back over his shoulder. For God's sake, don't move! He looked all around. He was surrounded by false Leopolds, who were also looking around as he was doing, with Ming-Li's at their sides. I'm coming back toward you. Be careful, Leo. Even as he made his way toward Ming-Li, the other Leopolds moved in tandem. Soon they had surrounded him in a crush. Open the door, Miss Zhao, he cried, shoving Leopold's out of the way. But the more he pushed, the more they pushed at him, and he found himself stumbling forward with more Leopolds stumbling into him. Stop it, you monsters! Good God, is that how my moustache truly looks? Keep talking, Mr. Casimir! Ming-Li had her gun in her hand. Don't shoot! You might hit me! Thank you for speaking up. She aimed and shot 3 Leopolds in succession between the original and her. They dropped, and Leopold stumbled over their lifeless bodies. He looked back as he finally rejoined her. I say, that's very unpleasant looking at one's own corpse. I never miss. Open the door! She didn't turn to look, but opened it behind her, keeping the pistol aimed at the Leopolds approaching and Ming Li's raising pistols in their hands. Not that door! It was too late. There had been another door beside the one they had entered, and he followed her, seeing no other alternative.
Oh.
What happened? Thank you.